Act 3, Scene 2, the palace. And this is Lady Macbeth as queen and a servant on the stage. So Lady Macbeth asks of the servant, "Is Banquo gone from court?" And the servant says, "Aye, madam, but returns again tonight." Lady Macbeth, "Say to the king that I would attend his leisure for a few words." So just underline that. Say to the king I would attend his leisure for a few words. So we are going to see in this small scene a real shift in the relationship. In the last scene, we saw Macbeth consorting with murderers and plotting against the life of Banquo and his son Flaance without her help. And now we're going to see that she in fact has to ask for an audience with her own husband. Now, of course, etiquette would dictate that you would have to speak to your husband, or you might seek an audience with him, but this is not like the lady who helps, sway over Macbeth in Act 1 and in Act 2 doesn't seem to have that kind of sway anymore. So it's just an important line, even just for an essay, if you're going to be looking at the before and after scene with Macbeth and Lady Macbeth and the change in their relationship. "Madam, I will," says the servant, exits. And Lady Macbeth here, now we're going to hear her inner thinking at this moment, how she's feeling post-murder, post-coronation. "Night's had all spent, where our desire is got without content. 'Tis safer to be that which we destroy than by destruction dwell in doubtful joy." So there you have it. She is not content. She's revealing that there is a discontent among them. And of course there has to be, because they've achieved their kingship or their status as a royal couple in this heinous way. And now she's saying, well, we live in doubtful joy, because of course, they're open to having many, many enemies. And even though they are safe as king and queen, that's not to say they won't have enemies coming down the line. And there's also this idea that it's got without content, because, even if you cheat at a game of cards, you can't really enjoy the game. You can't really enjoy what you've won because it's wrong. And of course, their heinous crime is it's epic. So they can't enjoy the fruits of their labor, let's say. And to quote Macbeth, from previous scenes, he talks about the barren scepter and the fruitless crown. She's echoing that also. Enters Macbeth. "How now, my lord? Why do you keep alone? Of sorriest fancies your companions making, using those thoughts which should indeed have died with them which with they think on." Sorry, I'll say that again. "Using those thoughts which should indeed have died with them they think on. Things without all remedy should be without regard." So she's saying, look, if we can't remedy what we've done, we just need to stop thinking about it and just move on. What's done is done. So she's still convinced that he is thinking about the murder of Duncan and all the rest. She doesn't know, she's actually kind of like a few chapters behind at this point, because she doesn't realise that, in the last scene on the stage, he was consorting with these murderers, because she's no longer a part of his decision-making process, which is very important. Macbeth says, "We have scorched the snake, but not killed it. She'll close and be herself, whilst our poor malice remains in danger of her former tooth. But let the frame of things disjoint, both the worlds suffer. Ere we eat our meal in fear, and sleep in the affliction of these terrible dreams that shake us nightly. Better to be dead, whom we, to gain our peace, have sent to peace." So he's actually echoing there exactly what she said. It would be better to be dead than to be alive and living like this, living in fear like this. "Than on the torture of the mind to lie in restless ecstasy." So again, he's echoing what she said. We can't enjoy this. This is without joy because of the way we did it, and of course our many enemies. "Duncan is in his grave, and after life's fitful fever he sleeps well. Treason has done his worst, nor steel, nor poison, malice, domestic, foreign levy, nothing can touch him further." So it's kind of almost funny here, but he's almost jealous of Duncan's peace. He is jealous of Duncan's peace, because at least Duncan is has peace of mind. He's asleep and he's in the next world, whereas they have to live with what they have done, and he is tortured now by not so much regret, but just a paranoia that he won't be able to stay in the throne. And of course, it's impossible to enjoy something that you have achieved in this particular way. Lady Macbeth: come on, gentle my lord, sleek o'er your rugged looks, and be bright and jovial among our guests tonight. So here we have an attempt by Lady Macbeth to, bolster him and get him going again, because there's a very important banquet tonight. And she's saying, listen, come on, put on your best face, look like the flower, but be the innocent flower, but be the serpent underneath. She's all, it's very much appearance versus reality with her. And this is her last ditch effort to kind of like try and, keep him going, as it were, even though we know from the beginning of the scene that she herself is faltering, that she herself is plagued by uncertainty and doubt and fear and paranoia. Macbeth says, so shall I love, and so I pray be you. Let your remembrance apply to Banquo. Present him with eminence, both with eye and tongue, unsafe the while, that we must lave our honours in these flattering streams and make our faces vizards to our hearts, disguising what they are. So he's talking there about appearance versus reality, another important quotation there, using our vizards to our hearts. But it's also important that he's telling her to pay extra attention to Banquo and Fleance. He's not telling her at this moment that he's actually planned and plotted their death, and that they in fact won't be at the the banquet. Lady Macbeth says, you must leave this. So she's saying again, come on, put this behind you. And Macbeth says, very important quotation here, very important. Oh, full of scorpions is my mind. It's a fantastic metaphor there, because the scorpion is constantly biting and it's poison. So like this idea that his mind is full of scorpions, a brilliant quotation. Dear wife, thou knowest that Banquo and his Fleance lives. So he's kind of trying to almost in a way suss her out here to see, would she be willing to participate in another murder? Would she be okay? Would she condone it if he was to orchestrate something? Lady Macbeth: but in them, nature's copy not yet turn. So she's saying, well, they won't live forever. And he says, there's comfort yet. They are assailable. Then be thou jocked, ere the bat hath flown his cloistered flight, ere the black Hecate summons, the shard-born beetle with his drowsy hums, hath rung night's yawning peal, there shall be done a deed of dreadful note. So he's sort of letting her know now that something is afoot, something is planned. But very importantly, he hasn't consulted her. He hasn't consulted with her on this at all. Lady Macbeth: what's to be done? Essential quote here. Be innocent of the knowledge, dearest Chuck. Now, a chuck, like a chicken or a small sort of, in terms of the animal kingdom, a sort of an irrelevant, a very small, almost irrelevant bird. She's gone from partner of greatness, a woman with such mettle that he called her, and when he said, bring forth men, children only, she's so strong in Act 1 and Act 2, and she is the one in control. She's the domineering partner. And now he's saying, I have something in mind, but you be innocent of the knowledge, dearest Chuck. So if they were on a seesaw now, she'd be going way, way down and he's going up without her. And that is a really important juxtaposition in their relationship. She's just not part of his decision-making process any longer. Be innocent of the knowledge, dearest Chuck, till thou applaud the deed. Come, sealing night, scarf up the tender eye of pitiful day, and with thy bloody and invisible hand cancel and tear to pieces that great bond which keeps me pale. So here he's also calling on the spirit world, to take on a thickness of night so that, he won't feel, heaven watching him, and he has a bond to life and he wants that disregarded. Light thickens, and the crow makes the wing and the rooky wood. Good things of day begin to droop and drowse. whiles night's black agents to their praise do rouse. Thou marvellest at my words. So you're looking at me very confusedly. What's the problem? Or you're wondering what I'm doing. Thou marvellest at my words, but hold thee still. Things bad begun make strong themselves by ill. That's really important. Underline that, because we're going to see more and more of this. We started this kingship in a bad way. We got off to the worst possible start. So we're stuck in darkness and in evil, and we must continue that way. And you're going to see more of that as this goes on, as this kingship continues. So underline this quotation. Things bad begun make strong themselves by ill. And you've often heard, if you tell one lie, you have to tell another and another and another. You can never just be truthful after it, because the story kind of takes them on a mind of its own. And it's the same here. This murder will beget more and more and more death and murder. So prithee, go with me. And they exit. So a short scene, but a very important scene, because you're looking there at serious cracks in the relationship. He's off consorting with murderers. She is voicing her discontent alone on the stage. She's asking a servant for time with her own husband. And then, essentially, she is not to be told what is going on. He tells her to be innocent of the knowledge. Now, you'll recall at the end of Act 1, he sends the letter to Lady Macbeth in Act 1, Scene 5, because he doesn't want her to be ignorant of the prophecies. She was his partner of greatness, but now she's to be innocent and to just play the part of the dearest Chuck or the wife. So she's suddenly sort of like backwards in his thinking, and that's essential for if you want to look at the juxtaposition in their relationship and the way he is sort of ascending into tyranny here. So some very, very important quotations there for underlining.